Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening. I hope you all are having a wonderful day. It's been a very busy Monday for me. I hope your day is not as busy as mine, but I hope you've got a great start to your week. If you are here with me, please say hello in the comments. I love chatting with you all. And if you have any questions, feel free to let me know as we go through today. So, my Monday mantra, y'all, my hair is getting really long if y'all haven't noticed. I don't know what to do with it. It hasn't been this long since my wedding. So my Monday mantra today, let's go back to that. Squirrel. I've been very squirrely today. It's like every single thing. I was chatting with a friend, and then I noticed that one of my bamboo had died that was actually right back there. And then I was talking to her again, and then something happened. Like, I've just been all over the place. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, I hope you're having a wonderful Monday and a great start to your week. So my Monday mantra today that I posted in the group and in my email is talking about how we are allowed to have our feelings, and we are allowed to feel our feelings, and we are allowed to feel big feelings, and that's okay. I don't know how you were raised. I feel like it's interesting when I look back at my life. Some of the family members in my family were okay with big feelings, and then some members of my family were not okay with big feelings. We were to not talk about our feelings. We were to suppress our feelings, and it really didn't matter. And maybe I don't know if that was just everybody or because I was a kid or whatever. I don't know. So it's interesting how everybody is a little bit different, but you do have a right to your feelings, big or small. You have a right. And I think we've all been in a situation where someone has not respected our feelings, or has maybe gaslighted, you know what I'm talking about, have just sort of bulldozed over how we feel for whatever reason, whether they don't appreciate it or they don't understand it or whatever. And so I want you to think about today, you have your feelings. We all have feelings. We all have the right to our feelings. And I know things happen and people ignore your feelings, or you ignore someone else's feelings. Maybe not intentionally, but you did it. But you have a right to feel big, and that's not necessarily meaning feel bad things. It's a great thing to feel good things too. One side of my family growing up, I don't know, they just did not show emotion, and it really didn't matter if you did something good, if you did something bad, if you were celebrating, if you were sad. It really didn't matter. It was just this even kill, like. And although I had big feelings, I'm a big feeler. I'm sensitive. Of course, I'm empath. I feel other people's stuff as well. And there's that line in Sweet Magnolias that Truvy, Dolly Parton's character, says that you don't cry alone. That's me. You cry, I cry. I mean, pretty much. And that is crying, in some people's view in my family, is a sign of weakness. And I'm a big crier. I cry at commercials. I cry at movies. I sometimes just need to cry. I have big emotions, and have had to learn as an adult that that's not a sign of weakness. That's just who I am, and that's how I feel. That's how I get in touch with my emotions. I was lucky to have a really, really great best friend in college who, about once or twice a semester, we would just look at each other. We were next door neighbors, and one of my very best friends to this day, and we would look at each other and say, "I just need a cry night," and she was like, "Me too." And she would go to her room, and I would go to my room, and we would order some kind of food, and we would sit in our respective rooms and watch really sad movies and just cry it out. It's just what we did. And she understood that, and I understood that. And then once we cried it out, we felt a lot better. Sometimes crying needs to happen. Okay. I joke with a friend of mine now. I say, I need to schedule a good cry. So you might need to schedule a good cry, and that is okay. That is okay to feel big things. It is okay to feel extremely happy. It's also okay to feel extremely sad. That is okay. So, and as long as you can acknowledge what those emotions are. I remember a therapist one time telling me that, and there's a statistic out there, and I do not know it, and I haven't looked it up, but the average human can only identify very few emotions. You know, happy, sad, angry. There's very few that we actually can identify. But when you look on the list of emotions, there's hundreds of them, right? And so identify what it is, big, little, small, or big, little, or positive or negative. And it's okay to feel that. It's okay to feel that. And I invite you to sit with that, especially if you've ever been in a situation or currently in a situation where you're not being heard or you're not being understood with your feelings. Okay? But you have a right to them. And I hope you know that. So as you know, I always pull a card before a session. And today's card, beautiful card. It's backwards. It's empathy. And it says, I am open to seeing both sides of a situation. And I think what called out to me whenever I was reading, because there's a book with it, it says, you truly don't understand others' motivations if you haven't lived their lives and seen the world through their eyes. It is so easy to judge another's behavior matched up against your own and label it as right or wrong. And that is something that I had to learn and understand as an adult, that they were, and I say they, some people in my family members who did not show emotion, and I was not supposed to show emotion. And that was just how they grew up, how they viewed things. It's not me, that is them, right? And what this is saying is, we need to take their views into consideration when something happens like that. And it took me a while to get there, because I am a feeler. And I have big emotions, I always have. But I've had to learn that's okay, that's who they are. I want them to accept me for me, right? I want them to accept me and my big emotions. Then I need to be open enough to put myself in their shoes and try to understand their point of view and why they didn't show emotion or couldn't or wouldn't or whatever the case may be, right? So that's the empathy card. And the other little angel card that I pulled for us today says authenticity. And I think that's very appropriate because I think it goes back to knowing your emotions, understanding your emotions, being able to identify your emotions and being authentic, because I'm not, or I wasn't, a lot of that side of the family has passed now, but I wasn't that close to that side of the family because they didn't show emotion. My other side of the family did, and that was the one that I tended to be more in alignment with, and so I felt closer to them because I was being more of my authentic self. And I'm lucky to have a husband who has learned that I have big emotions and I express my big emotions, good, bad, or ugly, and that I am a crier, and it doesn't necessarily mean anything's wrong, I'm just a feeler, and that he's accepted that, and I tell them all the time that, if I die before you, you're going to see this commercial and you knew I cried at this commercial, you're going to cry. So, but be authentic. Be authentically you. That's the only thing we can be or should be. Because otherwise we're just pretending, right? And gosh, I know that takes a lot of energy to pretend to be something that we're not. So be authentic. Okay, well, that's all I have for today. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a great week. It's cooling off here. I'm so excited. With me having to move my live till 2 p.m., I couldn't sit out on the deck because the sun is blaring down on me, and I was sitting here like this with my eyes watering. I said, I got to move inside. But I think we're knocking on the fall door, so that's exciting. And I hope that your weather is cooling off if you'd like for it to cool off, or warming up if you're in a different hemisphere than we are. Otherwise, I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful week, and I will see you soon.